What a beautiful day it is here on the banks of the South Saskatchewan. In 1905, one of my predecessors, in fact, the very first priest to come to this place, Father Edard, was out shooting rabbits. And he was having supper with the Couche family who owned this property. They were farmers. And in conversation with them, he thought this would be a great place to build a church in this new city of Saskatoon. The Couche family sold him the land and provided him the labor that saw the building of the very first St. Paul's Church. About 10 years later, a new church had already risen in this spot. This church that is behind me was built in 1911. The groundstone was set by then Prime Minister Sir Wilfrid Laurier to a great celebration in Saskatoon that the Prime Minister was coming to lay the foundations of this church building designed by the same man that designed the architectural structure that we call our legislature. And then the next day, Laurier went across the river, there was no bridge out there, and laid the cornerstone for the University of Saskatchewan. What great things have been planted here on the South Saskatchewan, including this spiritual center, this spiritual heart of this whole city, St. Paul's Cathedral. And I welcome you in downtown Saskatoon. Even though their cars are driving by and sometimes be a bit noisy, where I live here at St. Paul's, nonetheless, this is the heart. This is the soul of the whole of this city. I've lived in many parts of the world. It's so great to be able to come home and discover how beautiful it is. Right now, the harvest is being brought in, and at the same time, winter wheat is being planted. New growth, new life. That's what happens here at St. Paul's. This is a place in which we celebrate and give thanks to God for the gift of the harvest that is so rich, and at the same time, plant seeds of new life. The seeds that you meet here, the new life, families, young families filled with all kinds of joy and love, with hope for the future, knowing that God is with them. So this is my invitation as the pastor of St. Paul's Co-Cathedral to you to enter into our web portal, but more importantly, to come through the doors of this church, to join the great crowd of witnesses to Jesus that have been streaming here for 113 years, to join with this dynamic community of people who bring their families of all ages together to celebrate God's presence and share in gifts of life together in the Lord, to be part of being a witness to Christ in the heart of this city, reaching out to those who are marginal, who surround us here, most of all, lifting our voices and praise to God, being the spiritual center for and in the city of Saskatoon. Welcome.